June 11, 1962, 10:30 p.m. A guard at Alcatraz Federal Penitentiary makes his routine bed check. Cell B-150. Inmate Frank Morris. He shines his flashlight through the bars. The figure in the bed doesn't move. Perfect. Asleep. He moves to the next cell. B-152. John Anglin. Also asleep. B-154. Clarence Anglin. Same. 3 inmates. All accounted for. What the guard doesn't know, he's looking at mannequin heads made from soap, toilet paper, and human hair. The real prisoners are gone. Already in the walls. Moving through ventilation shafts. Heading toward the roof. Toward freedom. By morning, they'll discover one of the most ingenious prison escapes in American history. By noon, the FBI will launch the largest manhunt ever conducted. By evening, the entire country will be asking, how did 3 men escape from an inescapable prison? Alcatraz. The Rock. The prison that held Al Capone. Machine Gun Kelly. Robert Stroud, the Birdman. The most dangerous criminals in America. For 29 years, no one ever escaped successfully. Until Frank Morris. The man with an IQ of 133. The man who spent 18 months planning the impossible. This is the story of how 3 men vanished from Alcatraz and were never seen again. June 11, 1962. The greatest escape in American history. They escaped from America's most secure prison and vanished forever. If you want to see how they did it and what really happened to them, subscribe now. This story is legendary. Let's start with the man who made it all possible, Frank Lee Morris. Born September 1, 1926. Orphaned at age 11. Foster homes. Juvenile detention. Prison by age 13. But Frank wasn't a typical criminal. He was a genius. IQ 133. Top 2% of the population. His criminal record tells the story. Age 13. First arrest, narcotics possession. Age 15. Escape from Louisiana State Penitentiary. Caught. Age 18. Armed robbery. Convicted. 10 years. Age 23. Escape from Louisiana State again. Caught. Age 24. Bank robbery. Convicted. 10 years. Age 29. Escape from U.S. Penitentiary Atlanta. Caught. Pattern recognition? Frank Morris could escape from anywhere. Except he kept getting caught. But each escape taught him something. What worked? What didn't? What guards looked for? What they missed? By the time he arrived at Alcatraz in January 1960, Frank Morris had escaped from prison 3 times. He'd studied every security system, every human weakness, every architectural flaw. And now he was in America's most secure prison. The challenge of his life. Alcatraz Island. 1.25 miles from San Francisco. Surrounded by freezing water with deadly currents. Guard towers every 100 feet. Metal detectors. Daily counts. Routine searches. Nobody escaped Alcatraz. Ever. The warden said it was impossible. The guards believed it. The inmates knew it. Frank Morris looked at impossible and saw challenge. For 18 months, he planned, observed, calculated, built. And on June 11, 1962, he proved everyone wrong. To understand the escape, you need to understand Alcatraz. Built 1934. Operational until 1963. 29 years of maximum security. Location, Alcatraz Island, San Francisco Bay. 1.25 miles from mainland. Might as well be 1,000 miles. The water. Temperature, 50 to 55 degrees Fahrenheit year-round. Hypothermia in 20 minutes. Currents, 6 to 8 knots. Olympic swimmer struggle sharks. Great white spotted regularly survival estimate. Less than 1% chance without gear. The security. 336 cells, each 5 by 9 feet guard towers. 14 positions, 24/7 covered guards to inmates. 1 guard per 3 inmates. Highest ratio in America. Metal detectors. Every entrance, every exit counts. For times daily, sometimes more routine searches. Cells inspected randomly, frequently tool control. Every screwdriver, every wrench accounted for. The inmates, only the worst of the worst, came to Alcatraz. Not just dangerous, smart, resourceful, escape-prone. Men who'd proven other prisons couldn't hold them. The philosophy: if you can't be controlled anywhere else, you come to the Rock. The record: 36 escape attempts in 29 years, 23 caught, 6 shot, and killed, 2 drowned, 5 missing. Presumed drowned, 0 successful escapes officially. Until Frank Morris changed that record. Because what the prison didn't count on was a man with 133 IQ, 3 prison escapes worth of experience, and 18 months of obsessive planning. The game was on. Frank Morris couldn't do it alone. He needed partners. John Anglin, age 32, bank robber, serving 10 to 20 years. Frank's cellmate in Atlanta before Alcatraz. Trustworthy, strong swimmer. Clarence Anglin, age 31, John's brother, also bank robber, also strong swimmer. The Anglin brothers grew up swimming in Florida lakes. Natural advantage: Alan West, age 33, car thief, burglar, cell next to Frank's. Mechanical skills: could make anything from nothing. The builder: for men, for cells on the same cell block. B150, B152, B154, B156. Perfect positioning. Not accidental. Frank spent months engineering cell transfers. Medical reasons. Personality conflicts. Cell maintenance. Always a reason. Always moving closer. By late 1961, the team was in place. The planning began in earnest. The routine: 5:30 a.m. Wake up, count 6:30 a.m. Breakfast 7:00 a.m. Work detail: various prison jobs, 11:30 a.m. Lunch, count 12:30 p.m. Back to work 4:30 p.m. Return to cells, count 5:00 p.m. Dinner 5:30 p.m. Recreation hour optional, 9:30 p.m. Lights out, final count night. Guards patrol. Check every cell hourly. The window of opportunity: 9:30 p.m. to 7 a.m. If they could fool the night guards during bed checks, they had almost 10 hours. But first, they needed to get out of their cells. Through solid concrete walls. With no tools. While being watched by guards 24/7. Impossible. Unless you're Frank Morris. December 1961. Frank Morris is lying on his bunk, staring at the ceiling. Thinking. Always thinking. His eyes drift to the back wall of his cell. The ventilation grate. 6 inches by 9 inches. Designed to circulate air through the prison. Most inmates ignored it. Just part of the architecture. Background. Frank sees something else. Opportunity. The grate is held in place by cement. Old cement. Alcatraz opened 1934. This cement is 27 years old. Exposed to salt air. Corroding. Weakening. He stands. Walks to the grate. Touches it gently. Feels the cement. Pushes slightly. It gives. Barely. But it gives. His mind races. If the cement is weak here, maybe it's weak throughout the ventilation system. Maybe behind this grate is a shaft. Maybe that shaft leads somewhere. That night, during music hour, inmates allowed to play instruments, creating noise. Frank starts experimenting. He takes a metal spoon from dinner, files it on the concrete floor, creates a pointed edge, a tool. During the next music hour, he starts scratching at the cement around the ventilation grate. Quietly, carefully, the music covers the sound. After an hour, he's removed a dime-sized piece of cement. It's working. He does the math. The grate opening is roughly 6 by 9 inches equals 54 square inches. Behind it is unknown. But if he can widen it to 12 by 18 inches equals 216 square inches, a human body could fit through. Barely. How much cement needs to be removed? Roughly a cubic foot around the grate perimeter. How long will it take with a sharpened spoon during music hours? Months. Many months. Frank Morris smiles. He has time. The first rule of Alcatraz: no tools. Every screwdriver, drill, saw, accounted for. Checked in. Checked out. Inventoried daily. Frank Morris needed tools. So he made them. The drill. Electric hair clippers, stolen from the barbershop. Motor remove bit fashioned from metal spoon, filed to point power. Electric outlet in cell, used for small fan approved function. Drill through cement around ventilation, great noise. Covered by music hour, accordion practice. The saw. Metal file, stolen from workshop, reported as lost. Handle wrapped in cloth function. Cut through remaining cement, widen opening storage. Hidden in hollowed out books, underneath bed frame. The wrench. Made from stolen pipe fitting function. Remove ventilation, grate bolt storage. Inside accordion. Allen West plate accordion, perfect cover. The periscope. Made from mirror pieces and cardboard tube function. See down corridor without leaving cellasage. Check for guards while working. How did they steal items without getting caught? The system. Work details. Maintenance, kitchen, laundry, access to materials, accidental breakage. I dropped the file, it fell down a drain. Guards couldn't prove otherwise, bartering. Trading cigarettes, favors with other inmates who had access patients. Taking one item every few weeks, suspicion avoided. By March 1962, they had everything they needed. The tools were ready. The real work could begin. But tools alone wouldn't get them out of Alcatraz. They needed something else. A raft. To cross 1.25 miles of freezing water with deadly currents. And they needed to make it from prison materials. Without anyone noticing. The biggest challenge, getting off the island. The water was lethal. They needed a raft. Frank's solution, raincoats. Alcatraz issued raincoats to inmates. Standard military surplus. Rubberized fabric. Waterproof. Frank calculated. 50 raincoats sewn together. Inflated equals flotation device for 3 men plus supplies. But how do you steal 50 raincoats without anyone noticing? The method. Inmates worked in the coat room, laundry detail. John Anglin had this job assignment, not coincidence. Raincoats came in for cleaning. Regularly lost raincoats equals reported, but common. Prisoners blamed. Over 6 months. 50 plus raincoats lost, hidden location. Inside the ventilation system. Already accessed. The construction. The raft had to be buoyant. Support 3 men plus supplies. Navigable, crude paddles needed. Inflatable, manual lung power. Waterproof, obviously. Design. Raincoats cut into panels, seams sealed with heat. Steam pipes and cells provided heat source. Multiple chambers. If one punctured, others keep afloat paddles. Made from wood, stolen from workshop, piece by piece. Life preservers. Additional raincoats, tied around torso. Where did they work on this? Not in cells, too visible during searches. Location. Behind the ventilation grate. In the utility corridor between cell walls and outer prison wall. A space that wasn't supposed to be accessible to prisoners. But Frank Morris had made it accessible. By late May 1962, the raft was 80% complete. The ventilation grate openings were wide enough to climb through. The utility corridor access was secured. Everything was ready, except one crucial element. The dummy heads. To fool the guards during nighttime bed checks. Without them, the escape would be discovered within an hour. Game over. Frank Morris needed to become an artist and create lifelike human heads from prison materials. No pressure. The genius detail that made the escape possible. The mannequin heads. During nighttime bed checks, guards looked into each cell, shined flashlights, checked for bodies in beds. If Frank and his partners were gone, even for an hour, the alarm would sound. Game over. Solution. Make it look like they were still in bed. Asleep. Face to the wall, common sleeping position. The construction. Base material. Soap powder mixed with water equals papier-mâché consistency form. Molded into rough head shape over several weeks. Worked in darkness, hands-only features. Carved eye sockets, nose, mouth with stolen tools, skin tone. Paint made from. Crushed magazines, flesh-colored paper. Mixed with soap and water applied in layers. Realistic skin texture. Hair, real human hair. Source. Barbershop floor sweepings, collected during haircut days. John Anglin worked barber detail, convenient access. Glued to dummy head with soap mixture styled to match each man's hair pattern. Final touch, eyebrows and eyelashes added with paintbrush, stolen from art therapy program. The result, from 10 feet away, in dim nighttime lighting. The dummy heads looked exactly like sleeping prisoners. Testing. Before the escape, they tested the dummies during evening hours. Guards walked by, looked in cells, saw sleeping prisoners. Never suspected. Perfect. By early June 1962, everything was ready. White heavy checkmark ventilation grates removed, escape route open. White heavy checkmark utility corridor accessed, path to roof mapped. White heavy checkmark raft constructed, ready to inflate. White heavy checkmark paddles built, functional. White heavy checkmark dummy, heads completed, tested successfully. White heavy checkmark route planned. Every step memorized. Only one thing remained, choosing the date. Frank Morris picked June 11, 1962. A Monday night. Guards would be tired after the weekend. Routine would be sloppy. Perfect conditions. The countdown began. June 11, 1962. Monday. 5:30 p.m. Inmates returned to cells after dinner. Frank Morris, John Anglin, Clarence Anglin, Alan West. All accounted for. All in their cells. 6 p.m. Recreation hour. Some inmates go to yard. Others stay in cells. The 4 stay. Not feeling well. Tired. Guards note it, but don't care. These are model prisoners. No trouble. 7:30 p.m. Recreation hour ends. All inmates locked in cells for the night. 9:30 p.m. Lights out. Final count. Guards walk the tier. Check each cell. All present. All asleep. What the guards don't see. Cell B, 150, Frank Morris dummy, head in bed. Real Frank already behind ventilation grate, in utility corridor waiting. Cell B, 152, John Anglin dummy, head in bed. Real John in utility corridor with Frank. Cell B, 154, Clarence Anglin dummy, head in bed. Real Clarence joining brothers in corridor. Cell B, 156, Alan West problem. His ventilation grate opening isn't wide enough. He's still chipping cement. He can't fit through yet. 10 p.m. Frank makes a decision. They can't wait. West will have to catch up or stay behind. The plan continues. The 3 men, Frank, John, Clarence, are now in the utility corridor. A space 3 feet wide, running the length of the cell block. Dark. Dusty. Filled with pipes and electrical conduits. They move slowly. Carefully. Any noise could alert guards. Above them, the roof. Their exit point. Ahead of them, 30 feet of corridor. Then a climb up a ventilation shaft. Then onto the roof. Then down to the water. Then the raft. Then San Francisco. Then freedom. One step at a time. The escape is happening. 3 men are inside the walls of Alcatraz right now. The guards have no idea. Could you have planned this escape? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This gets even more intense. 10:15 p.m. Inside the utility corridor. The space is barely navigable. Pipes everywhere. Low ceiling. No light. They move by feel. They reach the ventilation shaft. A vertical shaft going up 3 stories to the roof. Width 18 inches. Height 30 feet. Most humans couldn't fit. But Frank Morris calculated this. Prison diet kept them lean. 18 inches was enough. Barely. The climb. Frank goes first, lightest, most agile. Uses pipe fittings as handhold shimmies up, back against one wall. Feet against opposite wall, takes 10 minutes to climb 30 feet, reaches top. A ventilation fan blocking the exit. The fan. The obstacle nobody could plan for completely. Frank examines it. Bolted to the housing. 4 bolts. He has the wrench made from stolen pipe fitting. Starts unscrewing. First bolt comes loose. Easy. Second bolt. Stuck. Rusted. He applies pressure. It breaks free. Third bolt, rusted worse. Won't budge. Below him, John and Clarence wait in darkness. Silent. Listening. Frank takes the wrench. Hits the bolt. Gently. Once. Twice. 3 times. The sound echoes down the shaft. If a guard hears this. 4th hit. The bolt moves. Unscrews. Comes free. 4th bolt. Same problem. Same solution. Gentle hammering. It gives. The fan comes loose. Frank pushes it aside, creates an opening. He climbs through, onto the roof of Alcatraz. Cell block roof. Guard tower 100 feet away. Searchlight sweeping every 30 seconds. He ducks low, waits for the light to pass. Signals down the shaft. John starts climbing. Then Clarence. By 10:45 p.m., all three men are on the roof. Still inside the prison perimeter, but closer to freedom than any Alcatraz prisoner had ever been. 10:50 p.m. On the roof. The cell block roof is flat. Tar paper. Gravel. About 100 feet long, 50 feet wide. The dangers. Guard tower. 100 feet away, elevated position, clear view searchlight. Sweeps roof every 30-second sound. Gravel crunches underfoot. Any noise equals investigation, exposure. If caught here, no excuse possible. The men wait for the searchlight pattern. Count the seconds. 30 seconds to sweep past. 30 seconds until it returns. They move during the dark periods. Crawl flat on the roof. Slow. Silent. Their destination. The far edge of the roof. Where it meets the outer prison wall. Where a drain pipe runs down to the ground. It takes 3 cycles of the searchlight. 3 dark periods. 3 30-second sprints of careful, silent crawling. They reach the edge. The drain pipe. Metal. 4 inches diameter. Bolted to the wall every 8 feet. It runs down 50 feet to the ground. Can it support human weight? Unknown. Probably not designed for it. Frank goes first. Again. He grabs the pipe. Tests it. Holds firm. He wraps his legs around it. Slide down. Fireman style. The pipe shakes. Metal creaking. Bolts straining. But it holds. He reaches the ground. Prison yard. Still inside the fence. But ground level. John descends. Pipe holds. Clarence descends. Pipe holds. 11:10 p.m. All 3 men are on the ground. Outside the cell block. Outside the main building. In the prison yard. The fence is 50 yards away. Beyond it, the water. Freedom. But first, retrieve the raft. Hidden near the shore. Prepositioned weeks ago during a work detail. They move through shadows. Staying low. Avoiding searchlights. Moving toward the beach. The hardest part is about to begin. While Frank, John, and Clarence are on the roof, Alan West is still in cell B 156. His ventilation grate opening isn't wide enough. He's been chipping cement for hours. Working frantically. Knowing his partners are ahead. Knowing he's falling behind. By 11 p.m., he realizes he's not going to make it through tonight. The opening needs another inch of clearance. He doesn't have another inch. He makes a decision. Stops. Puts his dummy head in the bed. Pretends to sleep. Tomorrow, he'll finish widening the opening. Escape the next night. Catch up with the others in San Francisco. They agreed on a meeting point. But as the hours pass, West realizes something else. By tomorrow, the escape will be discovered. The prison will be on lockdown. His chance will be gone. Panic sets in. By 1 a.m., he breaks. Starts making noise. Attracting guards. When they arrive, I need to report something. He confesses. Tells them about the escape. Shows them the ventilation grate. The utility corridor. Everything. The guards don't believe him at first. Check the cells. See the dummy heads. Sound the alarm. 1:15 a.m. Sirens blast across Alcatraz. The escape is discovered. But Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers are already gone. Been gone for over 2 hours. Head start insurmountable. Alan West becomes the most famous failed escapee in Alcatraz history. He testified about the plan. Gave interviews. Described everything. But he never told them one thing, where exactly the raft was hidden. Or the exact route to San Francisco Bay. That secret he kept. Loyalty to the end. Even though they left him behind. 11:30 p.m. The shore of Alcatraz Island. Frank, John, and Clarence retrieve the raft. Hidden under rocks near the northeast edge of the island. Prepositioned during a maintenance work detail months ago. The raft, still intact. Deflated. Ready. They start inflating, using lung power, blowing air into the raincoat chambers. One chamber at a time. Takes 20 minutes. By 11:50 p.m., the raft is fully inflated. Makeshift but functional. Roughly 6 feet by 14 feet. Able to support 3 men plus paddles. The water conditions. Temperature. 53 degrees Fahrenheit, hypothermia risk, severe current. 6 knots toward the Golden Gate, pulling them out to sea visibility. Near zero, overcast night, no moon, distance to mainland. 1.25 miles minimum, possibly 2 plus, with current swimming time estimate. 2 hours minimum, if they could fight current. They enter the water. Midnight exactly. The cold is shocking. Instant. Painful. Breathtaking in the literal sense. They paddle. Using the wooden paddles they constructed. Crude, but effective. Aiming for Angel Island, closer than San Francisco, 1 mile away due north. The current fights them immediately, pulling them southwest, toward the Golden Gate, toward the Pacific Ocean. They paddle harder. Exhausting work. Cold water sapping their strength. Current winning. By 12:30 a.m., they're 500 yards from Alcatraz. Making progress. But current is pushing them off course. Angel Island is getting farther away, not closer. They adjust. Aim more northwest. Paddle harder. Fighting for every yard. 1 a.m. They're 800 yards out. Halfway to Angel Island. But current has pushed them 200 yards off course. This is where the historical record ends. No one saw them after 1 a.m. No one knows what happened next. The raft was never found. The men were never seen again. 3 possibilities. They drowned. Bodies swept out to sea. Lost forever. They made it to shore. Escaped successfully. Assumed new identities. Lived secretly. They made it partially. 1 or 2 survived. The others didn't. We don't know. The FBI doesn't know. No one knows. They vanished. June 12, 1962. 7 a.m. Morning count. Guards walk the tiers. Cell by cell. Counting inmates. Cell B, 150, Frank Morris. Dummy head still in bed. Guard shines light. Morris. No response. Morris. Wake up. Nothing. Guard opens cell. Pulls blanket back. Discovers the dummy head. Soap and toilet paper. Alarm sounds immediately. Within minutes, full lockdown. Every cell searched. Every inmate accounted for. 3 missing. Frank Morris, John Anglin, Clarence Anglin. 1 confessing, Alan West. Tells them everything. The plan. The tools. The ventilation grates. The utility corridor. The roof. The raft. The water. By 8 a.m., the FBI is notified. The Coast Guard launches boats. Police in San Francisco, Marin County, and surrounding areas are alerted. Roadblocks established. Airports monitored. The largest manhunt in FBI history begins. By 10 a.m., the FBI discovers paddle pieces washed up on Angel Island personal items, photos wrapped in plastic. Found on Angel Island shore footprints on Angel Island. Possibly theirs, possibly not. No raft. No bodies. No men. By noon, the media has the story. Headlines across America. 3 escape Alcatraz. Photos of Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers on every news broadcast. The warden makes a statement. We believe they drowned. The water conditions were not survivable. The FBI makes a different statement. The investigation is ongoing. We are pursuing all leads. Translation. We have no idea if they're alive or dead. The mystery begins. And 62 years later, it's still unsolved. The FBI investigation was massive. Thousands of man-hours. Hundreds of interviews. Every clue examined. Evidence found. On Alcatraz. Ventilation grate openings, all 4 cells. Dummy heads, all 3, remarkably lifelike. Tools, drill bit, saw, wrench, homemade. Utility corridor access, confirmed. Roof access, confirmed via drain pipe. On Angel Island, 1 mile north of Alcatraz. Paddle fragments, wood, consistent with prison workshop materials. Plastic bags, containing photos of the Anglin family. Footprints, Size consistent with the escapees. Landing site. Disturbed vegetation suggesting recent arrival. In San Francisco Bay. Wallet belonging to Clarence Anglin. Washed up weeks later. Notes. Found later. A letter allegedly from John Anglin, claiming they survived. Authenticity disputed. Evidence not found. Bodies never recovered. Raft never found. Presumably sank or swept to sea. Clothing never found. Any confirmed sighting after June 11th. FBI conclusion. Official Frank Lee Morris, John William Anglin, and Clarence Anglin are presumed drowned. The conditions of San Francisco Bay on the night of June 11, 1962, were not survivable. Water temperature, current strength, and distance to mainland make successful escape highly improbable. FBI conclusion. Unofficial, we don't know. It's possible they survived. We've investigated hundreds of leads. None have been conclusive. The case remains open. The official FBI file on the Alcatraz escape, still open. Still unsolved. Still checked periodically for new leads. 62 years later. Still a mystery. For 62 years, people have debated. Did they make it? Theory 1. They drowned. FBI official position. Evidence supporting. Water temperature, 53 degrees Fahrenheit. Hypothermia likely within 30 minutes. Current strength. 6 knots. Olympic swimmers struggle distance. 1.25 plus miles. Exhausting even in warm water. No confirmed sightings. Ever. Anywhere. Bodies swept to sea. Common in San Francisco Bay. Many drowning victims never recovered. Probability. 70% according to FBI. Theory 2. They survived. Popular theory. Evidence supporting. Angel Island evidence. Paddle fragments, footprints, plastic bags, suggesting they reached land. Physical fitness. John and Clarence Anglin were excellent swimmers, grew up swimming in Florida. Intelligence. Frank Morris, IQ 133, planned for 18 months, likely accounted for conditions. Letter. 2013 letter, allegedly from John Anglin claiming survival. FBI analyzed, deemed inconclusive. No bodies. If they drowned nearby, bodies should have been found. Probability. 20 to 30%, according to independent experts. Theory 3. Partial survival, mixed outcome. Evidence supporting. Paddle fragments on Angel Island. Suggests Raft made it that far. No bodies of any of the 3. Unusual if all drowned nearby. Possible scenario. 1 or 2 made it to shore. Others drowned. Survivors would have reason to stay silent. Still wanted by FBI. Probability. 5 to 10%. The math. Experts calculated survival chances based on water temperature versus time to shore, current patterns versus paddling strength, physical condition versus exhaustion rate, raft buoyancy versus wave conditions. Result. 5 to 15% chance of survival. Low. But not zero. Not impossible. Just highly improbable. But Frank Morris built his entire criminal career on doing the improbable. Why would this be different? The Anglin family never believed their sons drowned. For 50-plus years, the Anglin sisters and other relatives insisted. They made it. We know they did. The evidence they claim. 1. The Christmas photo, 1975. Allegedly shows John and Clarence Anglin at a family Christmas gathering in Brazil. Photo surfaced in 2015, released by family, forensic analysis. Possibly them, but not conclusive. Age progression matches clothing consistent with 1970s Brazil, but could be cousins, other relatives. Anglin family is large. 2. The deathbed confession. Fred Britzi, a family friend, claimed in 1992, before his death, that he met John and Clarence in Brazil in 1975, said they were living as farmers. Gave family the Christmas photo. FBI investigated. Inconclusive. 3. The letter, 2013. Letter sent to San Francisco police, claimed to be from John Anglin. Contents. My name is John Anglin. I escaped from Alcatraz in June 1962 with my brother Clarence and Frank Morris. I'm 83 years old. I'm dying. I'd like to make a deal. If you announce on TV that I'll get no more than 1 year in jail, I'll tell you exactly where I am. Handwriting analysis. Inconclusive DNA testing. No sample available to compare. FBI response. We're willing to listen if he contacts us again. He never did. The family believes the letter is real. Believes John is alive or was in 2013. Believes Clarence died in 2011. The FBI says, interesting, but not proof. The debate continues. The escape didn't just embarrass Alcatraz. It killed it. Immediate aftermath. Security review. Ordered immediate ventilation system. Reinforced with steel bars guard patrols. Doubled cell inspections. Daily instead of weekly cost. Massive increase in operating expenses. The problem, Alcatraz was already expensive. The most expensive prison in America. $10 per prisoner per day versus $3 at other prisons. Why so expensive? Island location, all supplies ferried. High guard to prisoner ratio, constant maintenance, saltwater corrosion. Aging infrastructure, 1934 building, deteriorating. After the escape, security upgrades added $1+ million to annual costs. The decision, Attorney General Robert F. Kennedy reviewed the costs. Consulted with Bureau of Prisons. Made the recommendation. Alcatraz is no longer cost-effective. Security can be achieved elsewhere at lower cost. Recommend closure. March 21, 1963. Alcatraz Federal Penitentiary closes. 9 months after the escape. Official reason, cost prohibitive. Unofficial reason, if 3 men can escape using spoons and raincoats, the prison isn't as secure as we thought. Why pay premium price for questionable security? Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers didn't just escape Alcatraz. They ended it. 29 years of operation. Thousands of inmates. Dozens of escape attempts. All failures. Until one success. One escape. That brought down the entire prison. The legacy of Frank Morris. He didn't just beat the system. He destroyed it. And no one has seen him since. Today, Alcatraz is one of America's most popular tourist attractions. 1.5 million visitors annually. Tours every 30 minutes. Cell blocks open. Audio guides telling stories. And the most popular exhibit? Cell B-150. Frank Morris's cell. Tourists stand where Frank stood. Look at the ventilation grate, now reinforced. Imagine the planning, the patience, the genius. The dummy heads are on display. Behind glass. Remarkably lifelike even today. The tools are there too. The drill made from hair clippers. The saw from a file. The wrench from pipe fittings. Rangers tell the story. Every hour. To packed audiences. Did they survive? Tourists always ask. We don't know, Rangers always answer. The FBI case is still open. That answer, the uncertainty, is what makes the story legendary. If we knew they drowned, it would be tragic but resolved. If we knew they survived, it would be impressive but complete. But the mystery? The we don't know. That makes it eternal. The cultural impact. Movies. Escape from Alcatraz, 1979. Starring Clint Eastwood, dramatized, but largely accurate, made Frank Morris a household name. Books. Dozens of books about the escape, some claiming survival. Some claiming death, all speculation. No proof. TV shows. Mythbusters tested the Raft, conclusion. Survival possible. Documentaries on History Channel. Discovery America's Most Wanted featured the case. Pop culture. Referenced in countless movies, shows, books, synonymous with impossible escape, the standard by which all prison escapes are measured. Frank Morris became more famous after disappearing than he ever was as a criminal. The perfect crime isn't the one where you steal the most. It's the one where you vanish completely. Frank Morris achieved both. The story doesn't end in 1962. New evidence emerges periodically. 2015, the Brazil photo. Anglin family releases photo allegedly showing John and Clarence in Brazil. 1975 forensic analysis by U.S. Marshals. Entirely possible this is them. Age progression matches photo. Shows 2 men at farm. Dressed in 1970s clothing location. Rural Brazil. Area known for American expatriates. Conclusion. Interesting, but not conclusive. 2016. The Norwegian connection. Tips suggested Frank Morris was seen in Norway in the 1970s, allegedly using alias John Findlay, working as a ship mechanic, consistent with his skills. FBI investigated. No confirmation. 2018. The dental records analysis. New technology allowed reanalysis of old evidence DNA from items found on Angel Island, plastic bags, too degraded for matching. Technology not advanced enough yet. Plan. Retest as DNA technology improves. 2020. The Raft testing. Engineers recreated the Raincoat Raft using 1960s materials tested in San Francisco Bay under similar conditions. Result. Raft floated. Survived 2+ hours. Could support 3 men. Conclusion. Survival was possible. Difficult, but possible. 2023. The Deathbed Confession. Art Roderick, retired U.S. Marshal who investigated case for 20 years. I believe they made it. The evidence points to survival, but I can't prove it. Most comprehensive investigation ever conducted analyzed every lead from 1962-2023 personal conclusion. 60% chance of survival official conclusion. Still unsolved. The reality, unless someone confesses or bodies are found or DNA evidence emerges, we may never know. The perfect mystery remains perfect. To understand the escape, you need to understand the man. Frank Morris, psychological profile. Intelligence. IQ, 133, top 2% of population. Pattern recognition. Exceptional spatial reasoning. Superior problem solving. Creative, unconventional. Personality. Methodical, plan for 18 months. Extreme patience. Risk taker. For escape attempts before Alcatraz leader. Recruited and managed team adaptable. Each escape taught him something new. Criminal history pattern. Started young, age 13. Escalated quickly, armed robbery by 18. Escaped 3 times before Alcatraz. Louisiana State Penitentiary, age 15. Caught within days Louisiana State again, age 23. Caught within weeks U.S. Penitentiary Atlanta, age 29. Caught within months. Pattern analysis. Each escape. Frank stayed free longer. Learning. Improving. Escape 1, days before capture, poor planning. Escape 2, weeks, better planning, still rushed. Escape 3, months, excellent planning, 1 mistake. Escape 4, forever, perfect planning, no mistakes, or fatal mistake. Psychologist assessment, 1960, subject demonstrates superior intelligence combined with antisocial personality traits. Highly manipulative. Charismatic. Natural leader. Extreme narcissism. Believes he's smarter than authority. History suggests he will attempt escape at first opportunity. Recommend maximum security, constant supervision. They sent him to Alcatraz. Maximum security, constant supervision. He escaped anyway. Because Frank Morris didn't just think he was smarter than authority. He was. IQ 133 isn't just smart. It sees patterns others miss. Smart. It's plans 20 steps ahead. Smart. It's patient enough to chip cement for 6 months with a spoon. Smart. That's who planned the Alcatraz escape. That's why it worked. That's why we still don't know what happened. Because Frank Morris was a genius. And geniuses don't make obvious mistakes. 62 years later, we return to the central question. Are they dead or alive? If they drowned, when probably between 12:30 to 2 a.m., June 12, 1962, where? San Francisco Bay, between Alcatraz and Angel Island. Why? Hypothermia, exhaustion, current too strong, raft failed bodies. Swept to sea, never recovered. Happens in 30% of bay drownings. Evidence. No confirmed sightings ever. Probability, 70 to 80%. If they survived. Route, made it to Angel Island, rested, continued to Marin County or SF. Escape. Stole clothes, food, transportation, new lives. Assumed new identities, easy in 1962, before computers, locations, possibly Brazil, Mexico, elsewhere in U.S. Reason for silence. Still wanted by FBI, life sentence if caught. Evidence. Angel Island footprints, Brazil photo, letter, no bodies. Probability, 20 to 30%. The expert consensus. U.S. Marshals, 2023, they probably drowned. But it's possible they survived. We keep the case open because we don't have bodies. Without bodies, it's not solved. FBI, current, we investigated over 1,000 leads. None produced conclusive evidence of survival or death. Case remains open pending new evidence. Forensic experts, Survival was possible, but unlikely. The conditions were brutal. They would need extraordinary luck, exceptional physical conditioning, and flawless execution. Possible? Yes. Probable? No. The public wants to believe they made it. The underdog story. The impossible escape. The perfect ending. The reality, we may never know. And that might be the most perfect ending of all. The greatest escape in history remains unsolved. Frank Morris's final escape wasn't just from Alcatraz. It was from history itself. He vanished so completely that even the FBI, with unlimited resources and 62 years of investigation, can't find him. Dead or alive, Frank Morris won. He escaped, and he was never caught. That's success by any criminal standard. The greatest prison escape in American history. 3 men vanished from an inescapable prison and were never seen again. 62 years later, still unsolved. For more legendary true stories that challenge everything you think you know, subscribe now. The truth is always stranger than fiction.